Today's question has 3 answers, and the third answer is a secret to why the question itself may cost you money. So let's see if we get into this. So the question that was sent in to me was, are paperbacks lower quality than hardcover books? So I know when I started my self-publishing journey, that was a question that I had to deal with, which was, do I produce paperback books or do I produce hardback books? Because obviously the quality levels may be different between the two, and that could impact whether people will choose to buy these books or not choose to buy these books. But before I get into that, I want to let you know this is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com. Go and hit the subscribe bell if you'd like me to produce more videos like this one. And also below in the description, you'll see that I have the self-publishing secrets checklist that will help you get started on your self-publishing, whether you're just starting or you've been going for a while and are not making sales. This is a checklist you're going to want to take a look at. So when I first started publishing, I started with Kindle books just because they are the easiest to start with. After that, I moved on to paperbacks, then I moved on to audiobooks, and only after that did I move on to hardbacks. And the reason it took a while was the hardback books, they're going to cost you money to produce. So I choose to go through Lulu for hardback books, and the reason I chose to go through Lulu was because I would only have to pay for one of the manuscripts, which would cost me about $25, and otherwise I wouldn't have to pay any additional fees. They would supply the ISBN numbers, unlike if you do it through Ingram Spark, where you have to bring them yourself, which could cost $150 for them and a $50 review of your hardback books. So that meant that Ingram Spark would be the pricier option, and Lulu would only cost $25, and you would even have a copy of your hardback book sent to your address. So that was the option that I went. I always have assumed that the hardback books were of higher quality, but let's get on to the answers. So the first is, most people do consider a hardback book to be higher quality. It also even sometimes comes with a cover on it, which you can have for your self-published books, also with a cover, a dust cover, I think they call them. And you can choose what the binding is and all of the material that it's made out of and how well it's put together. And that will impact the cost of the book and also how much you're going to have to pay to produce the thing. And it will decrease your royalties on it. So it depends upon the type of hardback book that you're producing. For me, I choose just the cheapest options because I want to get the highest royalty rates while at the same time giving a nice experience with having the hardback cover so that my readers are able to get the hardback but not having to pay so much money that they might normally have to pay for those same hardback books if I were to go for the absolute highest end option. Now there are of course some readers who will read those high end options of hardback and maybe wish to have a cover on it and the absolute fanciest glossy covers and things like that would come along with a more expensive cover. But that is up to you when you're creating hardback cover books, whether you wish to be pushing those forward or not. Now on to number 3, and that is the secret. And today's secret answer, number 3, it is that when selling books, some people only like hardback books, some people only like paperback books, and some people only like audio or ebooks or whatever the case may be, PDFs, something along those lines, or text files even. And that being the case, so which ones should you produce? Should we produce the hardback or the paperback? Which one is higher quality? And the answer is you should produce both. Now you may question whether you should produce the highest quality of hardback books you can or a lower quality that gives your readers the ability to get it for a more reasonable price. But for me, if I'm like between, well, on the one hand, we're looking at the hardback, on the other hand, the paperback, the answer is I'm going to choose both the hardback and the paperback copies of the book so that I can maximize the sales that are going to be coming through. And I have no desire whatsoever in order to lose sales because I'm only selling in a format that some of my readers want to read. I want to hit as large of an audience as I possibly can with my books, and the only way to do that is to make sure that your books are available in all formats possible. Now, I would say that since you have to pay extra for the ISBNs, let's say if you're going Ingram Spark on their paperbacks, and also the review process, or if you're going for Lulu and going to need not the ISBN, but you're going to be required to order a draft of your books, a paper copy of your books, then you're definitely going to want to make sure that you only are doing the books that are already selling. So that's where the Kindle and Amazon paperback versions print come in hand, because what you do is you're going to sell them there, and you're going to see which of your books are making the most sales, and that will tell you which books first should be sold in these other formats that will cost you. Because if it's going to cost you $50, it would be a waste of your money to go about paying $50 in order to get it created into a hardback when those books are not selling at all. And sometimes you'll miss. You could create a book, assuming you follow the correct strategies. This is very unlikely, but you could create a book that is not making very many sales, and as a result, there is no point of creating a hardback or a paperback version of that book, especially some of the earlier books before I discovered the key strategies to winning at the self-publishing game. So why don't you tell me what you found? Have you found that it's higher quality with the paperback or the hardback books? Have you decided to limit yourself to only one or the other? Let me know. And take a look up above, and you will see more videos that answer questions just like this. Great, thanks.